Alright, so here we are. With the second game, that is gonna be apparently normal Arabia. Okay, so that's interesting home map for BuzZ, but they definitely apparently didn't want to do. They didn't want to do anything close to water, as they have seen in the first one. So it's gonna be back to land fully. And right now it's gonna be, well, there's not gonna be any trash from Blaze, because Blaze is not playing. He has been replaced from this game, so that's a bit of a shame for him, I guess. As he could have had such a, how to call it, such an actually success with that strategy right about now. Probably better than on islands, as trash on islands brave strategy didn't really work out. But where are we actually going to be having the flanks, so that we can potentially see some stealing? That's kind of complicated in 4v4s always. BuzZ. Oh, well, Bian Mio. Okay, so BuzZ Salva, exactly where we are, he's gonna be on the flank. You can see already they are meeting with Mio. So Mio is already thinking that he could be stealing something. Apparently the board is not there though. They are both at the top, so there could be some kind of way to actually take at least one of those away. It could definitely be working, as he maybe could be even trying to kill a villager or two, because of course they don't have Loom yet. But at the same time, at the Dark Age, the scouts are kind of sucky, so it's not like they're gonna be all that useful. So there is apparently sheep going to be coming right next to red, so he doesn't even want to steal that. That's kind of interesting. Kind of nice fair play in there. Doesn't want to steal that all that much, which probably is going to be telling us that he's not gonna be attempting to steal even boar, or is that just some kind of smoke screen? That he's just playing nice, sending the sheep back, but that he's gonna be stealing a boar. Could definitely happen. Almost seems like that it will. Oh, if that was the plan, well, that's nasty. That's really nasty if that was the plan, to actually make Salva think that he's not gonna be stealing his boar by sending the sheep back. But now trying to steal the boar, but apparently the boar is having none of it. It's not really biting on the bait. Interesting. And it seems like that he's gonna be getting lucky right now, Salva, as he definitely should have been -1 boar, but somehow the game was against that, and Mio just received plenty of damage that he didn't have to receive in the end. Well, on the other side, there is a flank of Hummus and Dark Knight. So we are so far looking at one boar here. Second is hidden behind the base, and it seems like no stealing has been going on here either. So everybody just playing with all the resources that they should be having from the very start. One boar behind the TC. Yeah, it seems everything is quite fine in there. And anywhere else, there shouldn't really be anything happening all that much, because of course, how should that happen in that kind of map and that kind of gameplay? Anyway, how are going to be the civilizations, for example? For BuzZ, we are looking at Mongol, Han, Mayan, and Spanish. For the opponents, it seems to be a bit different. We are having Han, Mongols, Mayans as well, but then it's gonna be Persians against the Spanish. But it's kind of similar. Both are gonna be coming for the horses, but of course Spanish are having the power spike in the early castle age through the conquistadors, so potentially that could be some kind of useful opportunity for raiding. Even though it has to be said, of course, the Persians could be raiding with some kind of knights as well. But at the same time, Mio is going to be on the flank, so he's probably not gonna be all that fast castling. The fast castle is gonna be up to Allegreman. Allegreman in the middle as the Han, definitely to be having Han as a pocket is nice, and a bit of a hidden pocket is gonna be also Heimdall as Mongol, which could be useful, but at the same time Mongols are useful on the flank, because they usually advance quite fast and are quite good on stopping the early aggression of their opponents, and potentially being even annoying if somebody is fast castling. So we are apparently having a bit of a pause. I'm just gonna check if maybe there is some kind of chat, and if maybe there aren't solving any kind of issues. Doesn't seem so. Everybody's in the game, so it's just going to be normal pause. Nothing really unusual so far. And who are going to be actually the pockets for the opponents? That's gonna be Riza as Spanish, and the next pocket is gonna be Blue, Heber as Mayan. So okay, right now this is gonna be of course an advantage for VNs, as they are having Han pocket, whereas the opponents are going to be having Hans on the right flank, and they're gonna be fighting against Mayans. Interesting matchup, but to be honest, since it's probably going to be Archer versus an Archer, I'll be favoring the Mayans, as they are a bit more natural at that. But yeah, well, it's not like the Huns are any bad, so it's probably gonna be down to some individual skill and who's gonna be executing the strategy and game plan better. Overall, the map seems to be kind of openish, of course, as we are on Arabia. Just this seems like some kind of closing spot. One of those, but nothing else. Seems to be all that bad, no really cliffs all that much. Just a short one at the bottom in between Viens. Second one as well, but nothing all that major. And for example, how's it looking with resources, as we are gonna be joining into the game, as the pause is gonna be wearing off. Potentially a bit of an issue could be the stone, as it is in the front. Already right now Riza confirming he's gonna be coming for Conquistadors, as he's in the pocket as the Spanish, of course. It's gonna be a fast castle from him. Second stone also kind of frontish, so potentially if he needs a stone, it's gonna be problematic for Mio. And as a Persian, he really doesn't need it. Oh. Are they actually right now restarting or whatnot? Yeah, they actually are. Okay, so that's a bit of a shame. I'm not exactly certain what they are going to be calling the rare on. I'm definitely curious. What's going to be a reason for that? There's some kind of similar issue, right, they were having? I'm not certain. Here we go. So, let's see. Everybody has restored, and we're gonna be continuing with the Arabia, where we ended, as we are having a pause right at the start. Hopefully not going to be too long. As we definitely want to see some action as soon as possible. So far we are at 17, 18 villages, so we are gonna be aiming into the stage where we are actually gonna be advancing into the few villages. And this is kind of interesting to see. 17 for Salva, 18 for Homus, and already you can see that the opponents are all at 19, but Bear at 20. So apparently he's playing slightly better than the rest. Bear has Salva slightly worse, so it seems like that when you actually equal it out, have some kind of average, it seems to be pretty much equal, so not really any kind of supreme advantage or disadvantage on either side. So what are we going to be actually seeing somewhere? Apparently there's gonna be coming up a Drush by Dark Knight against Homos, which definitely makes sense for him as a Mayan. So of course, let's see how that's gonna be working out. He definitely does have some kind of opportunity because the wall-in hasn't really happened on anywhere across the map, because this version of Arabia is quite open, so not really any kind of good map where you would be wanting to spend where you would be wanting to spend plenty of wood on palisades and such. So it's going to be just a bit of scouting going on right now by, of course, Dark Knight, to see where he needs to send the Drush, and it's going to be exactly here. So right now Teal should be basically recognizing what's gonna happen when even the Eagle Warrior is already going there for a bit of scouting and such. So of course the Drushers are not gonna be far behind, and it's gonna be very hard to actually wall this up. I'm kind of thinking it's near impossible. It's gonna be just about palisades there and there. Quick walling coming up, but he is just a bit too late. And of course those villages are dead. Unless they're gonna be escaping at least one of them. It seems like that at least one villager should be dying right now. But it's almost looking like that actually the gangbang is gonna be coming for Homus slightly better. It seems that actually one of the militias is right now dead. Yeah, those guys are still very much alive, at least for Homus, and that's pretty good result right now for him, because he's not having any kind of issue in there. But apparently not really Drush happening on the left side. It's pretty much more or less a full-on offensive. A full-on offensive right now by Salva against Mio. So Mio is having in both games kinda faced, or rather is having to defend against a very early attack. Right now it's apparently gonna be defending himself through some wall-in, and it's not really all that much of an actually aggressive push. It was maybe a bit of a defense against Mio. But since Mio is already ready with the stable in there, going to be coming for a few scouts, he might be just fast enough to actually even get around the forest in there and get into the back of those villages and kill a few of them, which could definitely be helping him and putting his opponent quite significantly back. Okay, so, nicely keeping the wall in there. Oh, come on, keep the scout in this position, because you definitely need to. Come on. Oh well, and it's gone. And the hole is gone, and right now he will have to go all around. It was very nicely played by Mio, of course, as he's gonna be killing a villager or two. It's one villager for one scout, second villager is gonna die as well, and potentially there's gonna be opportunity for a third, maybe even a fourth, and maybe even fifth, as plenty more are being sent in there, as of course those guys are gonna be heading topside all around the forest pretty soon, and that should be not really fast enough walling right now by Salvar, but potentially still could be if we actually micros it properly. Well, this is going to be a little race. A little race for that, as after this is actually happening, I'm gonna be switching also on Orange's base. As you can see, that gray on the minimap is sending plenty of units in there, and yet again Mio has been fast enough, and he's gonna be killing. Is he gonna be actually killing? Because there's still this pikeman. He should be having a 1v1 with the enemy pikeman. They have killed Yellow Scout, they have killed the pikeman, but still it seems like that the villager, at least one of them, retreated to safety. The second is unfortunately dead. So that's actually 3 villages dead right about now for Red at the very start of the game. Well, that's quite deadly for him. Quite of course, as right now at the bottom there is Scout Cavalry raiding by Homus against, of course, Green, who isn't really paying enough attention, unfortunately, as he should be, as he's right now having still a bit of fun in the front, it seems like, but not anymore. So right now he should be fully concentrating on his home base, and well, he lost one villager, but apparently that's going to be about it, as the spearmen are already being put in places. Otherwise, of course, right now Blaze, or rather not Blaze, because Blaze was orange, so that's why I was calling Riza Blaze. But it's Riza is under pretty heavy attack by, of course, his opponent Heimdall, who is having plenty of scouts in there, and he's killing villages here and there, but not really all that majorly. You can see he's killed basically about 1 or 2, right now 3. Yeah, it's going to be 3 villages, but much more importantly, he's forced off the goal, and right now Riza already joking about the GG, and this is actually pretty... Not that impossible, actually, because this is very nicely played by VN. It's a very aggressive game plan overall, and the only one who is so far aggressive from the opposing team, from BuzZ, is actually Homus on the right flank, and he is trying to do what he can against Dark Knight, somehow slow him down, which seems to be working very well, and he's even asking what's actually going on, and if he can somehow assist. He definitely should. He does have plenty of army himself, so he could be basically freeing his teammate from this onslaught by Heimdall, which definitely should be happening, as apparently Riza doesn't have all that much in his tank to actually deal with that. But otherwise, of course, Mio is still running all around Salva, and Salva is losing units, he's losing villages. Oh man, he's gonna be losing this one as well. That's not good. That's not good at all. So that's already about 4th or 5th villager from Red. You can see right now Red is at 23 villages, Riza at 24, otherwise 29, 33, and the opponents are 30, 29, 33, 34. So you can kind of see that Salva and Riza are really so badly off that it's gonna be very hard for them to overcome. Yeah, and you can see that he's even commenting on that. This is looking very promising right now for, of course, for the VN players. They have definitely mastered the early raiding game. Well, on the right side, are we looking some kind of counter-attack by Green? Not really all that much, just now, finally, exactly, as we are looking at it. He's right now finally sending all the archers and capturing very important hill, because this is actually quite a good elevation for him. He's gonna be killing the villager for basically free. Yep, as he has killed also 1 unit or 2, but the cover, or rather, cover of the tower is of course gonna be quite helpful and probably gonna be meaning stop to this kind of assault. But still, of course, there are a few woodies that are gonna be quite open to potential raiding, which seems to be exactly right now going to happen. So yeah, not really all that ideal right there, as otherwise not much going on the rest of the map. Other than that, of course, still very much interested in Riza, trying to delay his gold economy as much as possible. Even though Riza has advanced through Castle Age, it's still only after Allegreman, and Mio is the next one. A bit surprisingly, to be honest, advancing through Castle Age from the flank this soon. But well, he did stop, basically. He basically did stop his opponent in his tracks, and from that moment forward, it wasn't really all that hard for him to actually stay in the game and to really just go for the economy. And oh man, so many wolves. So many wolfies coming up as a bit of a help. But well, apparently Allegreman won't have to deal with them all that much, as they are being nicked on the Achilles in there by the Mio scouts. And of course the help that is received by, rather from Bear, apparently doesn't seem to be enough just now, and it definitely is not going to be enough anytime soon, because you mustn't forget that Allegreman is gonna be sending even more knights in there, and it's not like Mio is gonna be all that different, because he's a Persian. So what are you going to be expecting from him? Just more knights, and maybe even few camels if they're actually needed. And so far it doesn't seem like they're gonna be needed all that much. As you can see that Salva still not even advancing into castle, even though he's getting there. Right now coming for a wheelbarrow, so after that he should be having enough resources for the Castle Age. But well, the economy is kinda lagging behind at 29, which is not bad, as of course Riza is much worse off at just 20. So he was having a really very bad early game against Heimdall, and he definitely took plenty of advantage from that. And still the wolves running around, but unfortunately they're interested in the horses and not really in the villages in there. So that's actually kind of natural defense right now for Salva, so he definitely has to be thankful for them. So Scout's dead for Mio, but he doesn't need them anymore because he's gonna be replacing them by knights. Of course, he's a Persian in the Castle Age just about now, and well, they are apparently gonna be alive for quite a bit longer, it seems like, as we are gonna be checking on the right side where the archers from Green, who is still in the Fuel Age and apparently gonna be for a bit longer as well. well, raiding around, trying to find if there's something available to kill. Apparently there was a bit of a battle at the top, which has been won by Homos. You can see the remaining archers of him. It seems to be really going quite alright as far as the defense goes. The tower seems to be doing its job, and well, he is still very much alive with pretty good economy overall. The best economy in the game so far is Allegreman and his opponent Bear. Both pockets, of course, so it makes plenty of sense that they are gonna be doing a pretty good job in that. As of course, we are also looking at Red being maybe kinda halfway saved, but let's not really call it yet, because those guys are going to the bottom to punish this pesky knight, but they also don't know that some of his friends are coming through the top, and they are having even some different cult friends as well. So, well, this is gonna be just a bit too much for those few archers to actually deal with. That's 7 against 6, and you can kinda guess how that's going to go. Definitely trying to get rid of the tower, because once the tower is gone, then it's gonna be free raiding on all of those villages on the wood line, which is already right about now. It seems like that he actually was able to save at least one of the villages in there, but this guy should be killed. One dead, 2 dead, yes, 2 villages dead, 2 extra. So nicely done in the end, and of course he's gonna be trying to punish all of those guys hiding in there, cowardly in the tower. And even with the help with all of those archers, oh, wasn't paying attention in there, unfortunately. He definitely could have killed them, but well, that's not gonna happen anymore. And this time it seems like that Bear might be having just enough units. And I'm also looking at the minimap on the trickle of all of those grey units. Yeah, those grey horses, and even a villager, oh well. Even a villager coming forward, probably for a siege workshop, I'll be thinking. But he has to be careful about, of course, the castle and the conquistadors coming up already for Riza. As they're gonna be a bit of an issue, of course, for him. Otherwise, of course, still coming into green space. Agri's green was retreating back, not really interested in much of a raiding anymore, and he's just basically going to be waiting for a bit more economical and, of course, military upgrades so that he can get the castle age, the crossbowman, and the Botkin arrow for himself, and have the edge yet again. At least for a moment, because Homos is right now in basically quarter into castle age as well, so potentially there is just a small window of opportunity for the green player with the technological advantage. In the meantime, of course, there is gonna be a retreat of the villager yet again, as grey knights are returning to orange base. With some of the conquistadors in here, it's gonna be slightly easier defense, but there definitely will be needing a few more numbers than just that. As the numbers were going to help his teammate defend, which he definitely doesn't need just about now. He's gonna be needing to defend himself, but with proper micro he could be at least killing a few of the reinforcements, alleviating the pressure on himself at least a bit, and that could be working for him quite alright. As apparently we are switching into a sling. Salva is gonna be slinging into a bear to help him a bit, which makes sense. If you can be actually slinging, if you can be slinging into your ally, Mayan, it could be working, but it's kind of surprising that it's actually coming from a Mongol. But considering what kind of early game he had, and what kind of game he's actually continuing to be having, even though nice wall in, well, this is kind of not that safe, but it seems to be really alright-ish. It seems that, yeah, orange not really doing all that well, but with the sling it could be changing a bit, because of course Bear is already going to be coming into Imperial Age with the sling. That's definitely gonna be helping him. And of course Riza is completely dying. You can see he's at 22 villages. Salva not much better at 28, 41, 74 the rest. And for the opponents 48, 52, 94 and 80. So you can kinda guess the economies are absolutely through the roof for VNs. And Heimdall apparently having quite a bit of fun dealing with Riza. And Riza not really appreciating all the attention that is actually being given. Yeah, not really doubting that. Not really doubting that at all. Okay, so plenty of Puntaches coming forward, trying to raid something in actually Purple's base, but he needs to somehow get there first. Well, of course, there's gonna be a way, and of course at the bottom, because they've already cut through, it seems like. Or have they? They haven't not. They have not yet. But they are definitely working on it, those villages at the bottom. Stupid traitors in there, just waiting for it. But otherwise he's going to be taking the short route through the palisade, which is of course gonna be working quite fine. But we also must be looking on the right side, where Dark Knight is advancing on Homos. So far Homos having advantage of the very nice hill in there, but he also needs to be careful about the second flank of Dark Knight units, as he's of course using his micro abilities to the full extent, and it's working quite fine for him. He has already killed plenty of bees in there, about 4 or 5, well it's gonna be 6. That's gonna be 6, and at this stage, that's quite a good number. Quite a good number, keeping Hummus at 40, whereas Dark Knight is growing up at 55 already. And much more importantly, I'm liking the 1 away from Allegraman. So Allegraman doing a great job, and you can see that even the castle for Riza has been killed through the very nice side build that we have seen, or side build, more or less a front build, by Heimdall, by the lone villager that is still standing there. And well, she definitely did help her empire. So Hummus coming forward, and back home. Yeah, so okay, she's done helping. She's not gonna be helping anymore. She was just executed on the spot by Hummus, and of course with all the plenty of archers in there, it's gonna be kinda easy right now to report, or rather to defend. Yeah, just now reading on the report in there, 1v3. But of course, he will have to return back with a few more units. He did though kill the castle, which is of course supremely important, as I don't expect that Riza will be having enough resources for another castle himself, as his economy is all over the place, with just basically, wow, 5 villages. He's just at 5, okay. Just a moment ago he was at least at 20. That was better than 5. But right now Mio apparently gonna be losing the villages here and there, but he doesn't mind all that much. He's just gonna be a bit losing on the gold in there, but still at 93 villages, so not really any kind of issue for him. Bear on the other side, 96, and he seems to be more or less like the only player who is really playing right about now for BuzZ, still remaining in the game. But it's probably not gonna be lasting for much longer, as of course the number of knights is significantly growing. Allegraman is in the Imperial Age, and that's gonna be meaning, of course, Cavaliers and then Paladins from him. So that's gonna be another power spike. Above, of course, this power spike of Elite Room Archers. Not even fully upgraded. You can see just now one of the last archer armors are going to be coming up. But Arbalest's Embracer for Dark Knight, that's gonna be unit of choice for him. And we have also seen Cavaliers from Mio. So apparently double Paladins are gonna be coming up. So far though, Purple just getting ready for some kind of assault. Already having quite a decent army and going to be attempting to stop the castle, which he's not gonna succeed with. So he'll have to somehow take it down. But maybe he could be just taken it down by the Cavaliers if he can get rid of these archers, but probably not. He's probably just gonna be waiting for Mangonel, get some shots into the archers, and then continue with a few rams here and there. Otherwise, in the meantime, of course, you can see that Hummus is doing what he can with Raiden, having cavalry archers switch and really doing a pretty good job of that. But otherwise, he is having technological disadvantage. There was a bit of a problem for him as he was caught in the middle between two armies of Dark Knight, and the Arbalest just made a short work of all of those crossbowmen. Well, there's gonna be another downsetter coming up, and they are gonna be apparently calling the GG, as of course Riza is just gonna be more or less finished, still having the 5 villages alive. These are the 2. Where are actually the rest? 2 villagers. Ah, here they are on the stone. Okay, so these are all the 5 villages for them. So here we are, Paladins coming up for Mio and Allegraman, and it's gonna be a GG and a win in the match for VN's 2-0 against BuzZ. But well, kind of fun games. BuzZ definitely weren't afraid of it, and they just went with everything they had. And that's something that usually provides quite interesting and engaging games, even if they might be seeming like just one team is going for the victory. I really enjoyed this one, and that's definitely the trash on islands in the first map. That was rare. That was really rare indeed. So thanks Blaze for that. A very good raid in here though by Teal. Okay, you could have seen that he killed plenty of villages of Dark Knight, dropping at least 10 villages. He was at 55 a few minutes ago. Right now it's just 47, so definitely heavy losses incurred on him by the Raiden. So nicely played. Nicely played by Hummus. Let's check the achievements then. It's gonna be, of course, gonna be coming significantly for VNs, but actually high score is gonna be coming for Bear because of the sling from Salva. Alright, so at least that's gonna be one partial victory for BuzZ. But well, it didn't really do anything all that major as we could have seen in the game. Largest army, Salva didn't even bother to make army after the hard start. Riza got at least 6 units in there, or rather 5, besides the starting scout of course. But that just wasn't enough to stop Heimdall's army in the early stage. And he lost plenty economy quite early, and too early definitely. Just nicely played by VNs. Nicely played. GG.